Now just imagine yourself as a shark in the Shark Tank. And also imagine that right in front of you, there is this founder who has created a company which is creating certain products which are extremely revolutionizing for the healthcare sector. And by understanding his pitch, you and all the other sharks are very much interested to invest into his company. And this is where you make him an offer and he also happens to accept it.
So my offer is simple. 50 lakhs equity for 5% of the company.
Okay, let's do the deal.
And once this episode is over, you've already executed a term sheet, and furthermore, you've gone ahead and you've already signed a definitive agreement as well. But this is where a twist comes, where the government now issues a notification banning a certain raw material. And this raw material is essential to creating of those products that this company was creating, which basically means that the company no longer is left with any product because the raw material is banned. But the question here is, can you, post signing the definitive agreement and after issuing of this notification, pull out from this transaction or not? And this is the exact question that we will decode in this video. Alright, so the first thing that you need to understand is even post the execution of the first definitive agreement, the transaction here does not become closed by itself. Rather, it has just begun, because in most cases, there are certain condition precedents that need to be done by both the parties, and then only the funds are transferred and shares are issued where the transaction is closed. And this entire process of beginning the transaction and closing the transaction is certainly time consuming, because sometimes you even need government approvals. And that is why in the definitive agreements, you will find a clause that we will be talking about today, and that is the material adverse change, or rather what is called as the MAC clause. And what this clause essentially provides is that if during the course of a transaction, there is a material adverse change in the business of the targeted company, then in this case, the buyer, which is you, basically the investor, will have the leverage to either terminate the deal or even renegotiate the deal. And needless to say that the drafting of this particular clause is going to depend on the facts and circumstances, and it's going to be different for different industries. But generally what it covers is that if there is any regulatory or policy change, like in our example, then in such a case, the MAC clause does get triggered and you can very well pull out of the transaction, or for that matter, renegotiate it.